Verse number 99 is okay, still we are on mindfulness of the feeling, how the feeling doesn't exist objectively, how the feeling is like illusion. And what we discussed yesterday, this is extremely important. Finally, we see that the essay on a very gross level, why people are going through indulgence. One problem of the world. Let us explore all the problems. So one problem with the world is indulgence, intoxications, addictions, different forms of addictions. So why do you, I'm sure that many of you, I don't have much time, I have to rush through. Say, I'm sure that you agree with me that the addictions are all related to the feelings. You cannot let go of the pleasant feelings. You feel so attached to pleasant feelings that what you do that is harmful to you, but still this feeling is so intense that you crave for it or you get it, so that you want to get more, and then you dare to do whatever, at whatever cost, go into this, and repeatedly. This is known as addiction. You agree? Okay, so it's about feelings. So this is obvious. Then let's say all the problems in the communities, all the problems in the communities, again is because of first in the domestic, the family members where the issues are happening. Again, it's all because of the feelings. Say then the politicians, how they are fighting, fighting for the position and so forth. They see and so forth because of just, I would feel so happy if I get the same seat, If I lose the seat, it should not happen. Then I will be just broken. My feeling will be so unbearable. Feeling is the one which determines almost all our actions, from the very obviously nasty, the addiction, to the nasty actions, to the mafia, to the politicians, to the people who are harming others, and so forth. Now, even the good things. For example, like usually people may be getting at like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, but here you get up at 5 o'clock and putting on the snooze, snooze, and then like 5:40, okay, 5 minutes, right? In 5 minutes, I'll rush down, and again you fall asleep, and again you put a fresh snooze. It doesn't matter. They're making prostration. Perhaps Geshe is not there yet, right? So there, you just crave for the pleasant feeling of the sleep. Again, that makes you to be dragged in the bed, not coming out, because of the attachment to the pleasant feeling of sleep. So, believe it or not, all our actions are driven by the feelings. So therefore, if we can trigger, say for example, doing good things, right? For example, how many of their experience that in your school days, the closer to the exams, you made timetable for yourself, very rigid timetables. Morning at 6 o'clock, I get up. I'll just brush very brief, 5 minutes, right? And then study for 2 hours, then breakfast 5 minutes, then another 3 hours studies, and then maybe tea 5 minutes, then another 2 hours study, then lunch 15 minutes, and then study. And this timetable works only for 1 day, right? Why? Your body resisted, because going in this timetable, there's so much of energy consumed. Energy consumption gives rise to unpleasant feelings. What triggered? Do you want unpleasant feeling or not? You don't want it. So you will resist the trigger of the unpleasant feeling. What is the trigger of the unpleasant feeling? This timetable. So you resist the timetable. You push the timetable. You see the timetable. You say it's hopeless. It's no point. I cannot follow this. So this is how, say, the Buddhist psychology related to how the mind works. It's amazing. If you know how the mind works so well on the basis of these 5 ever-present mental factors, then you can tackle many of the problems with other people. You can just tackle many problems, say, just by seeing the person, how the person comes, walks in, how the person looks at you, and how the person talks, what are the words the person uses, and how the basic framework of the sentences. From there you can see what's going in the person's mind. So this is how the feeling, to see the emptiness of the feeling. Say unpleasant feelings, change it into a pleasant feeling. With doing good things, unpleasant feeling arises. For example, like study, so I will study for 14 hours a day. It doesn't happen because unpleasant feeling arises. Whereas if you study for 14 hours and if you get a pleasant feeling, all around 14 hours, pleasant feeling comes, then nobody can beat you. You getting it? It's unbeatable. You will just run through like this. You will not feel tired. This pleasant feeling will sustain your immunity. And this immunity will keep fighting with any kind of diseases, illnesses, tiredness, and so forth. So burnout doesn't happen. So the point is that doing good things, unpleasant feeling comes, it stops the good things. Doing bad things, the pleasant feeling comes, it makes you to indulge in the bad things. So this is all about the feelings. If you don't want to get into bad feelings, bad things, bad actions, so these actions are related to actions karma, intention. So intention is determined by the feeling. So with the bad things, make sure that the feeling is unpleasant, not pleasant. With the bad things, with bad actions, for example, like alcohol, holding on to alcohol, then it's an unpleasant feeling. We should try to think of creating an unpleasant feeling within us by thinking of all the consequences of that. Whereas if you fail to see the consequences deeply, you cannot create the unpleasant feeling within you with respect to alcohol. Then the pleasant feeling arises. If the unpleasant feeling doesn't arise, and pleasant feeling, you've already implanted the seeds from the past. So pleasant feeling, then you grab the alcohol. But think of the alcohol, all the unpleasant feeling arises. The mere thought of alcohol gives us unpleasant feeling, you will just stay away from alcohol. Addictions, all forms of addictions. For example, like, well, let's go for the pubs. Friends, let's go for pubs. It's all about the feelings. Doing bad things, instead of pleasant feeling, create unpleasant feeling. Then the bad things will stop. Because you see that you don't want the unpleasant feeling. This because of this action, bad indulgence, or going with the bad companions and so forth, then the unpleasant feeling comes. Then it will make you stay away from the bad things. With the good things, create a pleasant feeling. With the good actions, good things, create pleasant feelings. With the pleasant feelings, then you do like, what makes this pleasant feeling? That triggers a good thing, like helping somebody, or learning something. Or, I'll not waste time, I'll meditate on emptiness. I'll revise this text, chapter 9. But then you get a pleasant feeling. So with the pleasant feeling, what triggers the pleasant feeling? You want pleasant feeling. What will trigger it? The desire to study this. Then you will embrace it, study this. So try to replace the unpleasant feeling to pleasant feeling with respect to the virtues. Replace the pleasant feeling to the unpleasant feeling with respect to non-virtues. This is the trick of the successful life, to seek a purpose of life. Okay. So with this in mind, the feeling plays a very important because of this. And if we can see this, now going beyond this, if you can see the feelings, be it good or bad, doing bad things, pleasant feeling comes. And see the emptiness nature of the pleasant. Even this pleasant feeling is also illusion lie. So one thing is try to change doing with respect to bad things, change the pleasant feeling to the unpleasant feeling. So it will stop you from doing the bad things. This is one. Number two is that when your realization is, when you become more evolved, Then even if they say with the bad things, pleasant feeling comes, see the emptiness nature of this pleasant feeling. Even this pleasant feeling, you don't reject the pleasant feeling with respect to the bad things, but see the emptiness nature. Emptiness nature, automatically the pleasant feeling the attachment to the pleasant feeling will subside. So what pleasant feeling does not really push you into this. Attachment to the pleasant feeling pushes you to the bad things. So you see the pleasant feelings dreamlike, attachment to pleasant feeling stops. Because you are not attached to pleasant feeling anymore, you will not attach to the bad things which trigger the pleasant feeling. So this is amazing. So this because of this, Venerable Kambaba in his text, he said that may my mind be directed towards the dharma. What is next? May my dharma be on the proper path. Then may my path be freed of flaws. You getting it? What is next? May the flaws be seen in the light of exalted wisdom. You're getting it? The flaws, like with indulgence, pleasant feeling is coming. It's a flaw. With a pleasant feeling, it will drive you into indulgence. So, even if with the flaws, like say the bad things like indulgence, alcoholism, and so forth, pleasant feeling comes. May I be able to see this pleasant feeling in the form of the wisdom, exalted wisdom. What is that wisdom? See this pleasant feeling like a dream. You get the generate the wisdom to see this pleasant feeling like a dream. Then nothing can affect you, because with respect to bad things, unpleasant feeling comes, it will stop you from bad things. Pleasant feeling comes, it will not make you go into indulgence, because you are in the best of the path. Wisdom of emptiness. With the wisdom of emptiness, attachment stops. So one will not engage in the indulgence. So in both ways, you are in the spiritual path. So 24 hours, spiritual path, not through poisons. 24/7, not in poisons. With good things, wisdom. Bad things, wisdom. Right? But don't think, wow, we're so lucky. Now I can go into indulgence. Right? Good things, wisdom. Bad things, wisdom. Indulgence, wisdom. No, it requires certain level. First, put effort. When you reach that level, you will do it on your own. You get people, intelligent people, learned people, experienced people, they respect you for having reached somewhere, and then you make this judgment that, okay, indulgence, for me there's no difference, right? You are the right person. You're the right person. So 24/7, your mind is in virtue. Even with indulgence, you see that indulgence is a form of virtue. It is like go to a shop. There are so many statues. Buddha statues of Jesus Christ, statues of demons, right? And you'll choose the Buddha statue, you'll choose the Jesus Christ statue, you'll choose the Lord Ram statue, and the demon statue, no, not to buy this statue. And then you discover this demon statue is also made of diamonds. You also pick this up. It's diamond. You're getting it? All statues are made of diamond. But for that, you become the expert in diamond. If you're an ordinary person, you think that when the ordinary stones are diamond, you're not the person to pick up this demon statue. You're getting it? So when you become expert in diamond, to see the diamond in the demons, then for you, everything is wholesome. But that requires... Okay. So the point is that realizing the feelings as the empty of objective existence. So here, 99, verse number 99. So seeing the emptiness of feeling is done. Getting to the emptiness of feeling is done through various approaches. One approach is that the feeling and its objects. So okay, something's happening between when I see the flower. It's so, for example, when I was reading one article, the English is extremely beautiful. The English language, of that article was on the British monarchy. Article was on the British monarchy. And I was just reading it casually. And the English is extremely beautiful. Like some people who are so aesthetic when they see the sunset, they're just intoxicated. Just see the sunset. Intoxicated doesn't mean alcoholic, right? So their mind just flow in the ecstatic moment. It's beautiful moment. Likewise, when I read this, the language, English language, extremely beautiful. Something inside is like flowing like this, like a dance. It's amazing. Wow. So, pleasant feelings coming. What's the object of the pleasant feeling? The beautiful English. Now when you see beautiful English is empty of true existence, that pleasant feeling, attachment pleasant feeling stops. Because this pleasant feeling sees this beautiful language as pleasant. When you see that this is dreamlike, this attachment to pleasant feeling subsides, then you gain control. You're getting likewise anything. For example, like some young boys, Tenzin Yingzhela. Yes, I don't know how, whether he sees Tenzin Yingzhela, Tenzin Sela, when you see Messi's movement in the football ground, something's moving inside, right? In the olden times, I think about 20, 30 years ago, Michael Jackson on the stage, many girls, they become crazy. They are really fainting. Amazed. Just something is happening. You're getting it? So what is happening is that seeing that intense pleasant feeling is coming. So this pleasant feeling is seen in the object. It's not in the object, within you. You cannot distinguish the two. So when you see the pleasant feeling as empty, it's like a dream, then the attachment pleasant feeling subsides. So the object, when you see the object of pleasant feeling is dreamlike, the attachment pleasant feeling subsides. So this is one technique used here, 99. Nevertheless, some things can be seen and also can be touched. For example, seeing beautiful painting or say a beautiful texture like a flower, soft things, nice things, so forth, the tactility and the visual sound and so forth, touch through what has the nature of a dream or illusion. These objects which give you the very pleasant sensations and feelings, they're actually like dreams. Dreams meaning that they are empty of objective reality. Furthermore, a feeling, because it has arisen simultaneously with, now the next one is the same, the feeling. The feeling has an object. Likewise, when we say a feeling, I am feeling this. My mind is feeling this. Again, the feeling with respect to its object, feeling with respect to its subject. You're going to get, my mind is getting a pleasant feeling. My mind as a subject. So now the subject, seeing the dreamlike emptiness nature of the subject of the feeling, again the attachment to the feeling subsides. So the next one is the third line of the verse number 99. Furthermore, a feeling, because it has arisen simultaneously with the mind, is not perceived by the mind. Meaning that, say, the feeling. Okay, how many of you ever experienced very pleasant feeling at least one time in your lifetime? Pleasant feeling, right? Okay, very pleasant feeling. So what feels? My mind feels. So your mind as a subject and the feeling is the object now. So these two, are they same time or at different times? If same time, then these two are not subject object. Because same time meaning that the flower, when I see this flower, the flower should be the cause for my eye consciousness to see. You getting it? So flower should be the cause. Cause means it should precede. The flower and the mind which sees the flower should not be together, technically speaking. Should not be together. Because flower serves as a cause for you to see the flower, for your eye consciousness to see the flower. So the flowers cause means it should precede. Precede means the result succeeds. Result and the cause, these two are consecutive. These two are not simultaneous. If they are simultaneous, these two cannot be cause and subject and object. So it says that mind which is simultaneous with the feeling cannot be subject of the feeling. Now the next what possibility that the mind is before the feeling is ridiculous. The mind cannot feel the feeling if it's before the feeling. Say the feeling is at 9:42, and your mind which feels a feeling is at 9:41. Is it possible? Subject is before and object comes later. Is it possible? Okay, feel, for example, like, can you think of 2025? Oh, 2025, I'll go to, I'll come for retreat again. That time, I'll have go more relaxed retreat, not intense retreat. Right? Okay, so you think of the future, yes. But you can think of the future event, but you're not experiencing the future event. Experience. Feelings to be experienced. You're getting it? Feelings to be experienced. Or I'm experiencing a pleasant feeling. So the past mind cannot experience the present feeling. The future mind cannot experience the present feeling. You're getting it? So which mind feels the experiences a pleasant feeling? The past, present, future. The present. Present, the two objects are together. Together meaning that you cannot feel that. Because I am feeling. So the feeling should serve as a cause, as a trigger to this mind which experiences the feeling. So but we do experience the feeling. Our mind does experience the feeling. So in the conventional level, it does experience the feeling. But if you analyze like this, subject to the ultimate analysis, then you see that it is not experienced by any mind. Okay. 100. Those produced before or after. Before meaning the mind which is produced before the feeling means past mind. Or after the future mind. Can those produced before or after the feeling can remember, which say the future mind can remember the present feeling. Remember and not experience that feeling. In short, a feeling cannot experience itself, and it say any entity or agent cannot experience itself. This self-conscious mind is rejected. And of course, self-conscious mind is rejected. Self-conscious mind means the mind knowing itself is rejected by Prasangika. For this, don't expect that you understand it within few minutes. This is studied in many universities. So these are like what do you call it? Like a trailer. Like a trailer for the movie, right? So they are very important concepts he's touching. So if you are interested, you have to study more. You have to study more detail. You're getting it? And believe it or not, for example, say the Dr. Andaji, and here we have two Geshe here, Geshe-ma and Geshe here, and the say Tenshinla is here, and many from NMC, NDC. Ask them, Nicole, for how many years you studied? For 10 years. You ask them. You ask these people, then you will know that, okay, we touch almost like the volumes which they studied for a minimum 4 or 5 years is studied within 1 week. So we can't really expect, I don't understand. So these are like important points which will give meaning to your life, purpose to your life. For example, people go to the psychiatrist to numb their feelings. You're getting it? You don't have to numb your feelings. Study this. Right? You don't have to take the antidepressants. You're getting it? So this extremely valuable, say, the teachings. Extremely valuable teachings. So therefore the point is that we have to study more. So I'm sure that you have taken these brochures. Right? These brochures are there. for free, right? And this, for the time being, you cannot join because this is okay. You can join. Okay, those not from NCC and NDC, not from NDC or NMC, not from NMC, NDC, NCC. If you're not from any of these two, you cannot join this brown one, which is for the 5 years course. Already we finished 1 year over. So soon this green is going to be advertised. So the blue is for just for 6 months, and the green is for 1 year. So I would highly recommend, if you are not a part of any of these courses, go for this one, the green one. The green one is going to be soon going to be launched. The batch number NDC. Green is NDC. NDC 5. I would highly recommend you do that. Don't think that this course, you can do it anywhere. You're getting it? There are many benefits. There are many benefits. They say your studies, systematic studies, and then the directly in English, and then the topic wise is not heavy. The green one. The brown one is a little heavy. This you need to have a great stamina from NCC and NDC. If you don't have built stamina from these two courses, you cannot jump to this brown. So for this, you can build stamina. The green. Okay, so I would highly recommend, if you really want to stop your tears of samsara. How many want to stop your tears of samsara? Raise hands. How many, those who raise hands, you tell me how many you are seriously serious? Really stop tears, not just stop tears. Stop tears. Raise hands. Then you have to do these courses. I'm very serious. You have to do these courses. Okay. 100. Those produced before or after the feeling can remember and not experience that feeling. In short, a feeling cannot experience itself, and it cannot be experienced by something else either. Now, summary, as there is no truly existent one that feels, meaning the mind which feels, there's mind which feels a feeling, but there's no intrinsic mind. There's no mind which intrinsically feels the feeling. Therefore, then feeling cannot truly exist. How can it induce? So if the feeling doesn't exist truly, how can the feeling create harm, can induce harm to this collection of the aggregates? Even you, he is harming me, she is harming me. Which me? You're just 5 aggregates, just a bunch of atoms and the mind attached to it. That's it. Where is this I? Right? Do you see? Where is this I? If you feel that you're going to be separate from your mother, that you have to go to Sara College, right? Oh, I feel sad, I will not feel sad, but I'm sad separating from my mother. Where is this I? It's just a bunch of atoms. Yeah, think of this. Okay. Next, surface phenomenon in relation to close placement of mindfulness mind. So, mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of the feeling, mindfulness of the mind. Mind as impermanent. Mind is impermanent. But here, mind as empty of true existence. Mind as like illusion. 102. A mind does not exist. Okay, now the mind. So when we say mind can be classified on different levels. You're getting it? Mind can be classified on different levels. One is the sensory mind, or sensorial mind, or the sensory mind. And the other one is mental consciousness. Mental consciousness. What's the difference between the sensory mind, sensory consciousness, and the mental consciousness? Sensory consciousness is which depends on the external input, external stimulus. For example, like my eye conscious seeing the flower. So this external, the object which is required for your mind, for your sensory consciousness to be activated. Now, to be very precise, sensory minds are those minds which depend on these physical sense powers. Sensory minds are those minds which depend on the physical sense powers. Don't just say sense powers. Physical sense. What do you mean by physical sense powers? There are 5 physical sense powers. Eye sense power, ear sense power, nose sense power, tongue sense power, body sense power. Okay. And also that you require the sensory objects, sense powers and sense objects, like the visual objects for the eyes, auditory sound for the ears, and so forth. But for the mental consciousness, you don't really require these as the immediate cause. For example, you can think of tomorrow. Tomorrow is yet to come. Tomorrow is yet to come. So this sense consciousness cannot see tomorrow. Sense consciousness cannot see yesterday. But the mental consciousness can think of yesterday, can think of tomorrow. You agree? So that is purely mental consciousness, which reaches out to the past and the future, and very complicated phenomena. For example, like emptiness and so forth, is only the mental consciousness which can reach to emptiness, not the sense consciousness. So first here, is talking about the mental, how the illusion-like nature of the mental consciousness, followed by illusion-like nature of the sense consciousness. This is how Bodhisattva Shanti explaining here. 102. A mind. So here the mind referring to the mental consciousness. Mind does not exist in sense powers. Sense powers meaning we talk about the sense powers with 2: physical sense powers and a mental sense power. So your mind, mental consciousness, arises by dependence on the preceding mind as the sense power. Preceding mind. So a mind does not exist in sense powers. Or, for example, I remember yesterday the food that I ate, or yesterday the place where I came from. I remember this. So my mind, mental consciousness, is not seen in this physical form, or in the sense powers. Mental consciousness is not seen there. No, in the space in between the physical form. For example, even while I'm seeing this flower, my sense consciousness is operating, my mental consciousness is also operating. Whereas if I'm looking at the flower, I'm thinking of something else, then my mental consciousness is not operating with respect to the flower. But if I appreciate the flower, appreciation is a mental consciousness, is not a sense consciousness. Appreciation. So your sense consciousness just gives you information that there's a flower there. That's it. And the mental consciousness will see that, oh, it's beautiful, it's not beautiful. So appreciation, this is our mental consciousness. So the mind is not inside. So this inside meaning the non-Buddhists, not all non-Buddhists, one class of non-Buddhists who believe in the self identified as one with the mind. Samkhyas, they identify the self as one with the mind. So consciousness, the consciousness which you are seeing, consciousness which, it appreciates the flower, that consciousness is different from the self which is identified with the mind, what we call as a consciousness in this sense. So a mind is not inside meaning the self, and outside meaning the properties of the self, like your hands, your body, and so forth, not outside. Nor can it be found anywhere else. So what is this mind? And even in the Tibetan Buddhist traditions, exploring where the mind is. What is the mind? Trying to identify the mind. What's the mind? Mind is described as something which is colorless, which does not have a shape. So some traditions, but actually it's very gross. Mind doesn't have color, mind doesn't have a shape, and so it's very gross. Is to lead the beginners into introducing them to the mind. It's very gross. Still, is very helpful. And then say that it is not outside your body, it's not inside your body, but it's a mind. So it's a very gross introduction of the mind. So here Bodhisattva Shanti did it with respect to the mental consciousness. Okay. something that is not the body. So now this mind is not to be identified with the body, nor something else, neither commingled with the body. No separate in any ways. The body is separate and the mind is separate. You cannot see again two things as two distinct things. It's not a truly separate in any way. It's not a truly existent thing at all. So therefore, this mind is not truly existent. By the way, there are other ways to meditate on emptiness of the mind. This is so important. We have to learn this technique, how to see the emptiness of the mind. Because finally you said that I'm happy, I'm not happy, and so forth is all related to your mind. That to mental consciousness, not the sense consciousness. So if you learn how to see the emptiness of this mental consciousness, this is extremely beneficial for us, number one, in terms of calming down our emotions. And then number two, with respect to cleansing the mind of the mental defilements, of all the meditations on emptiness, meditation on the emptiness of mind is considered the supreme, most effective in cleansing the mind of mental defilements. It's most effective. So if you do get time, I don't know how I'm going to get time. If you do get time, you can do a little bit of how to see the emptiness of the mind. Right? Who's going to remind me? Who's going to remind me? Okay, I see there are many people who are excited. The girl over there, she's excited. Okay, Jane, Kim. Okay, your name again? Natalia, Svetlana, Paul. Your name? Okay, there are many. Jenison. Tenzin. Okay, there are many Tenzin. Right? Okay, Tenzin, thank you. And here, your name? Tenzin. Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. So if somehow I do get time, I'll just quickly touch on emptiness of the mind. You're getting it? Okay, you remind me. 103. Something that is not the body, no physical sense, no commingled, that not a true existent thing at all. Because of that, sentient beings are released in natural nirvana. So therefore, say when you see that your mind is not truly existent, when you say the I, this I is with respect to the body and the mind. And when you see the emptiness of the body, emptiness of the mind, so nothing to hold on to. Nothing to hold on to means that for you it's like free. For some people, you have so much of responsibilities at home, right? So many things to do. And some of you, how many of you once in a while thought that I wish I could leave everything and go somewhere? Raise hands? Yes. Okay, right. Many of you. Wow, that's amazing. So leave everything so that you will be detached from them, and you will be natural nirvana. Because you're freed. Nirvana means freed. I'm freed from all these what? Not attachment, engrossments, responsibilities, right? That's natural nirvana, where you're cut off from all what otherwise keeps you busy and tired. So I'll have rest, complete rest. Oftentimes in the text there's a mention of the mind finally finds rest. You're getting it? When you see the emptiness, there's nothing which would affect you. So your mind will finally find the rest. You're getting it? So when you want to leave everything there, in a way you have the idea of nirvana, but it's like the real pizza and the picture of the pizza. Picture of the pizza is not a pizza. You eat it, you're eating paper. So therefore you leave. So why these feelings coming? I'm fit. Why is feeling coming? Self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. And you leave everything, you go to Himalaya, self-grasping, self-centered, they will also come with you. Right? Again, you will create this problem. Again, you will create the same problem there. So where these two things are there, you will never be freed. Okay. So sentient beings, when you see that the mind is empty of objective reality, then this is known as the natural nirvana. So this, where your mind is empty of true existence, your mind is like illusion. Existed when? When does it exist? That your mind is free of objective existence. When does it exist? When you see it? When you see the emptiness of the mind? When does the mind exist as empty of, like illusion? When? When you see emptiness, when you meet emptiness, or before that? Huh? When you see emptiness, before that, the mind is objectively real. Mind is empty of objective real, or is objectively real? So the text says that, when you realize the mind is empty of objective real, then you experience the natural nirvana. So when is it that the mind is empty of objective reality? When you meditate, or before that? When you meditate, before that is objectively real. Is objectively real, or you see it as objectively real? But it is empty of objective real. You see it as object real. In reality, it's empty of object reality. Good. Okay. So in true sense, our mind, the true nature of mind is that it has a natural nirvana. But why don't we see this? Is that our mind clings onto something. What? Objective reality. Where you see something as objective reality, your mind clings. You are not freed. You're getting it? You are not freed. So therefore, you see anything. You see Buddha as object real, you cling. You are not liberated. Even when you see Buddha as object real, you cling to the Buddha's object real. This is samsara. So if there's anything to which you cling to see object real, whatever, the Buddha, yourself, anything, the moment you see something object real, your mind clings to this, you are trapped in samsara. That is samsara. So therefore in Buddhism, everything is taught to be empty of object real. There's nothing including the Buddha. Okay. 104. Now the sensory consciousness. How the sensory consciousness, they're empty of object reality. If the cognition of something exists prior to the object of cognition. Okay. So this is something similar to what we did with the emptiness of the feeling. So cognition meaning, cognition, the word cognition has ambiguity there. Word cognition, okay, native English speakers, not only native English speakers, even others, I see that many people, your English is amazing. So cognition, there's a great ambiguity there. So with the word cognition, do you agree with me that it can connote the object cognized? Number one. Then the act of cognition. Number two. The mind which cognizes is also known as cognition. You're getting it? So it can refer to these three things. So there's ambiguity there. So here the cognition means the mind. The mind which cognizes. For example, your mind sees the flower. Your mind is referred to as cognition, which cognizes the flower. Okay. If the cognition of something, cognition here is the subject, don't forget it. If the cognition of something exists prior to the object of cognition, say, okay, what are you saying? Okay, what are you saying? The flower. What sees the flower? Your mind. Your mind sees the flower. So your mind existed. Did your mind exist? Did your mind which sees the flower exist before the flower? Yes, no. The mind which sees the flower, did it exist before the flower? Huh? Bindu, yes. So before the flower, there's no flower. So your mind was not seeing the flower. It was not a mind which sees the flower. What yes? No, this is not my saying. The mind which sees the flower, did it exist before the mind? This is my question. The mind which sees the flower, did it exist before the mind? No. Okay. If yes, what's the problem? If yes, then it should not be the mind seeing the flower, because the mind is not there. Your sense consciousness cannot see the past, cannot see the future. You getting it? Okay, strange. The retreatants of this group, their sense consciousness see the past and future. Right? This is a funny group. From different planet or from different world systems. Okay. So Bodhisattva is talking only to the people from this world, where the sense consciousness should not be before the object, right? And if you also want it before the object, that's a different story. 104. If the cognition of the something, if the cognition of the flower, if the mind which cognizes the flower exists prior to the object of the cognition, which is, what is the object of cognition? The flower. If that mind seeing the flower exists before the flower, then on what does it focus to arise? So, before the flower, there's no flower. So this mind which sees the flower, what is it focusing on? Focusing on flower? Flower's not there. And it's the visual object, is the visual consciousness or the sense consciousness. It's not a mental consciousness. Mental consciousness can think of the past and the future. Then on what does it focus to arise? And number 2, if a cognition and the object of cognition are simultaneous, if the cognition and the object, if the cognition, the mind and what is cognized, the object, these two are simultaneous, what's the problem? What's the problem, Victor? It's not possible. How is not possible? Because they cannot be cause and effect. Cause and effect should necessarily be sequential, cannot be simultaneous. So whereas the flower should be the cause and the mind seeing the flower should be the result. These two cannot be simultaneous. Okay. And if a cognition and the object of cognition are simultaneous, still on what does it focus to arise? Same. 105. Yet if it occurs after the object of cognition, then from what does the cognition of it arise? So if the cognition, the subject, if the subject which sees the flower arises after the flower, what's the problem? Hey, what happens? Cause effect. So the cause should be before, effect later, and effect later. Flowers before, and then the mind comes later. So what's the problem? Huh? No problem. Thank you, Paul. No problem. Right? Okay. So why are we discussing all these things? We are discussing all these things to reject the objective mind. Believing in objective mind. You're getting it? If things exist objectively, if things exist objectively, past, present, future, these three moments, they are disconnected. You're getting it? They're disconnected if they exist objectively. For example, let me say like this. Say you are in this hall, and somebody is, okay, we rise it up, okay. So let's say somebody's up there, Viraj, right? And they say, this is like a clinic where a nurse comes. Nurse is available. The clinic advertisement says the nurse available 24 hours. Right? Nurse available 24 hours. Then they say at noon, 12 noon, they say, what is that? The evening shift comes or afternoon shift comes. Right? So the second nurse enters this hall and the first nurse leaves from the other door. You're getting it? First nurse and second nurse, these two never meet. Never meet. But in the eyes of the person from outside just looking at this hall, there's always the nurse here. Yes, no. Okay. So, and if I ask say usually for the nurses, how many nurses are there? Doctors, nurses, raise hands. 1, 2. Doctors, nurses. There are many doctors, nurses here this time, right? Say you have handover, right? It's not that okay, I did my job and you leave, and then the second nurse, whatever she does is her responsibility. It's not like you have to hand over. So if the handover is not there, somebody will always see a nurse in this hall. But the second nurse does not know what happened during the first nurse, at the time of the first nurse, because two of them did not really communicate. These two are disconnected. You're getting, there's no handover, right? So if things exist objectively, they are independent of each other. Then the past, present, the future, they're all independent from each other. They are disconnected, right? They're disconnected. So because of which, that there's no dependency. There's no dependency. So the present flower, okay, the past, the early moment of the flower, and the next moment of the eye conscious seeing the flower, these two cannot be cause and effect. Why? The present and the future, these two are disconnected. They're independent from each other. So therefore, say the second nurse will say, okay, who is the first patient? First patient, no idea, because handover did not happen. These two are totally independent entities. Okay. Whereas if things are seen as empty, like illusion, dependent, then you can explain that cause is first, effect is later. That is fine. But for objective existence, cause and effect at two different times cannot be possible. You're getting it? Why? Because two different moments, these two are disconnected. Past, present, future, these three are disconnected. If they're disconnected, they are not dependent on each other. If they're not dependent, they cannot be cause and effect. Okay. Where are we now? 105. Yet if it occurs after the object of cognition, object, and then after that, the cognition or the subject, then from what does the cognition of it arise? Cognition is the subject. Subject should arise from the cause. Cause should precede. And the cause is not a cause because the object and the subject, these two are independent from each other because they exist as objective real from the point of view of the advocates of objective reality. Okay, next. Selflessness phenomena in relation to close placement of mindfulness of phenomena. Okay, now we are still not too close to complete, but mindfulness, selflessness phenomena with respect to the mindfulness phenomena is just 2 lines. A truly existent arising of any phenomena cannot be determined. In other words, there's nothing existing as truly. The phenomena do not exist truly because when we subject to ultimate analysis, we cannot find it. We cannot find it. Good. Now next, rejecting the objections that the two truths are untenable. Okay. Now the opponents are saying that you are Prasangikas, I am the advocate, I am the realist meaning who accepts objective existence. I'm the advocate of objective existence, and you are the, hey, what happened? Irresponsible Prasangikas. Right? Okay, so you are Prasangikas. So now what I'm telling you is that earlier you rejected, say, contact. You rejected contact. Remember? How no contact? Because with the contact, if there's a gap, it's not contact. If the two meet, then they will conflate. Then again, it's not meeting because it becomes one. Meeting means two should be there, minimum. So with this, you said you rejected the contact. So what I say now, what I tell you, the Prasangika, is that you rejected contact. You rejected feelings. You rejected what? Mind. You rejected body. You rejected the self. So therefore, for you, there is no conventional truth. For you, you rejected it. So therefore, for you is only ultimate reality. If it's only ultimate reality, even that is not true, because ultimate reality comes only with the conventional reality. These two should be two sides of the same coin. So you cannot explain the two truths. 106. Suppose you object, but if it were the case that conventional truth does not exist at all, like the feelings, the contact, the body and so forth, then how can they be two truths? You talk about two truths. Form is empty. Emptiness of form. You're talking about two truths. So where is the two truths? Moreover, if conventionalities arise by means of other power meaning, other power here means simply through the power of imagination. For them, existence and... Hey, what happened? For them, existence and objective existence mean the same. You're getting it? If you reject objective existence, you are rejecting existence. If they don't exist, it becomes imagination. You're getting it? So if you say that things come into existence by imagination, 107, well, this, before that, moreover, if conventionalities arise by means of other power, it's just imagination, no objective reality, then how can sentient beings transcend sorrow? Meaning that, saying, we have sorrow or not sorrow? You have sorrow or not sorrow? Huh? And then, do you think you can become enlightened? Do you think that you can become enlightened? So for you, even the enlightenment is just imagination. If the enlightenment is imagination, you will never attain the real the enlightenment. So you will never attain nirvana. You will never attain Buddhahood if things are purely imagination. This is the argument from non-prasangika against the prasangikas. Okay. Now 107, prasanga's response. Okay, how would you respond? Anyone? How will you respond to this? Okay, let's read 107. Well, this mode is that of another conceptual deceptive mind, meaning that how you, meaning I, non-prasangika, impose on you that the conventionality is just imagination. This is not our view. This is not Prasangika's view. This is some other people's view. You're getting not Prasangika's view. Okay, well, this mode is that of another conceptual the deceptive mind, which is purely imagination. Deceptive mind meaning pure imagination. But this is not our mode of conventionality. Our meaning? Prasangika's mode of conventionality. This is why Lama Tsongkhapa said that in Prasangika, to bring the harmony between emptiness and the efficacy of the functionality, this is the most difficult point. You're getting it? You may get a glimpse of emptiness. You get a glimpse of things don't exist objectively. But to link the two, emptiness at the same time, the functionality is efficacious. That part is the most difficult part. Just to get a glimpse of emptiness, you have goosebumps and so forth. It can happen. But it doesn't mean that you've seen emptiness. For to see emptiness precisely, you should be able to see the harmony of the emptiness and the functionality of the world. These two are very compatible. Okay. 107. Well, this mode is that of another conceptual deceptive mind. Conceptual deceptive mind meaning pure imagination. Right? Oh, I'm a Buddha. This is a deceptive mind. I'm not a Buddha. I'm a Buddha. This is a deceptive mind. So this deceptive mind just imagines that I'm a Buddha. You're a Buddha. Okay. But this is not our mode of conventionality. If it is ascertained, then what is your mode of conventionality? Say that it's just a bunch of flowers. It's just a bunch of flowers. For example, with the picture of the Buddha, picture of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, right? Made of? Not teddy bears. Dots with the teddy bear pictures, right? What is this? This is like, again, this is another the conventional reality. Everybody agrees. Teddy bears. Right? It's just a picture of the teddy bears, not the teddy bears. Okay. So, we see that, say, there are two people. There are two persons next to the picture of the teddy bears, 40,000 teddy bears. One person says that, so actually this is a picture, okay, so here, Viraj. So what if saying that, say there are two persons close to the huge picture of His Holiness Dalai Lama, but from close by you just see 40,000 the pictures of teddy bear pictures. Then so one of them said that if you go to Merurganj, there's no the picture of His Holiness Dalai Lama. So if somebody says, no, this is a picture of His Holiness Dalai Lama, then say, if this is a picture of Dalai Lama, you can also say this is a picture of Mahatma Gandhi. This is a picture of the Hitler, Adolf Hitler, right? Who is correct? Who is correct? Because close by you don't see the picture of His Holiness Dalai Lama, you don't see a picture of Mahatma Gandhi, you don't see a picture of Adolf Hitler. But one said that it's a picture of His Holiness Dalai Lama. Other one said that there's no His Holiness Dalai Lama. If it is, then you can equally say that it's a picture of Adolf Hitler also. So which of the two is correct? You go a distance, you evaluate this. You go a distance and you see the picture of His Holiness, not the Mahatma Gandhi, Adolf Hitler, nothing. So this is known as although object nothing's there, but it's not just you can imagine anything. There's some efficacious functionality there that you, at distance, you see only the picture of His Holiness the Dalai Lama to all the people who have a proper eyesight. Yes, you agree? This is known as the efficacy of the functionality of the world. So this is how we evaluate. Nothing objective there, but it's not just imagination. From distance, you can validly see the picture of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. It's not that whatever you think it appears there. It's not true. So this is the meaning of functionality in Prasangika. It's not just imagination as the meaning of conventionality. Okay. If it, line 3 of 107, if it is ascertained afterwards, later you go to Merurganj, from there afterwards you look at the Tushita, you say, oh, this is a picture of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, then this is a proof that there's a efficacious, the conventional reality there. Still exists, and if it is ascertained afterwards, it still exists. Then we say it exists. It's not just imagination. Pure imagination is nihilism. Whereas from distance, you see a picture of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Is this nihilism or this is real? It's real. Everybody agrees that this picture of His Holiness the Dalai Lama with the proper eyesight. Okay. And if not, whereas, right, if there's no picture of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, you just see the picture of a tree, then what you earlier thought that this picture of the Dalai Lama, is not the reliable or valid conventionality. And if not, the conventionality doesn't exist. Okay. Now, so how do you account for the functionality according to Prasangika 108? Both the conceptual thought and the object of investigation are mutually dependent. Although object doesn't exist objectively, and the mind which sees the object doesn't exist objectively, but they exist as real through mutual dependency. The mind exists by dependence on the object exists by dependence on the mind. There's mutuality dependency. So mutual dependency means they are not independent. You getting it? Okay. So it says, both the conceptual thought, which is subject, and the object of investigation, the object, they are mutually dependent for the existence. And by dependence on worldly acceptance, all objects of analysis are expressed. All objects of analysis, anything that exists in the universe, they are posited through worldly convention. They exist just conventionally. Okay. 109. Suppose you object. Okay. Now if you say that, okay, this flower exists by the power of mind. What about your mind? Your mind exists truly or not? If it does not exist truly, then everything's pure illusion. You say the flower exists because I can see this, but your mind is not reliable. Even this is also illusion. Right? Okay. 109. Suppose you object. If the analytical intelligence that examines whether or not an object exists intrinsically, for example, your mind analyzing the emptiness of the flower, your mind, which we call as ultimate analysis. So, both 109. Suppose you object if the analytical intelligence, which from the point of view of the Prasanga is the ultimate analysis, that examines whether or not the flower exists intrinsically, is subject to exam. When that mind is subject to analysis, what happened? Even this mind will also be seen as empty of objective reality. Is subject to examine. In return, it leads to an infinite regress, meaning that even this mind which sees the emptiness of the flower, even this mind, when you subject ultimate analysis, even this also empty. Again, the mind which sees the emptiness of that mind, even that will also empty. You keep going like this, it will go into infinite regress. But for Prasangika, this infinite regress is something negative connotation. You're getting it? Infinite regress means it can go ad infinitum, but it should not be. For example, like say, one example that I would say that distance from here, from Tushita to the main temple is infinite. Is it true or not? Distance from Tushita to the main temple here, His Holiness temple, is infinite. Is it true, Ilengo? No. But for Americans, it's true. Yes, Mark? It's true. So Mark cannot reach the temple because it's infinite. Okay. So the point is that they say where it should not be infinite, if the logic pushes you to accept that it's infinite, you have to accept infinite. This is known as infinite regress. Simply because it is infinite doesn't mean that it is infinite regress. For example, like time is infinite. Don't say it is infinite regress. Time is real. It's real. For example, space. From here, from India, from the world, planet Earth, you keep going out in the spaceship. When will the space stop? It will never stop. It's just infinite. It's not infinite regress. Infinite regress is where it's not infinite, and if the logic or the reason pushes you to accept it and you have to accept it, there's no choice, then this is known as infinite regress because of your failure to account for the explanation of an event. Okay. 111. Well, when the object of analytical inquiry is being examined, meaning that when the object receives the emptiness, when the object analytical inquiry is being examined, analytical inquiry has no basis. For example, let's say that you see the emptiness of the flower. Okay, I see the emptiness of the flower. So my mind sees the emptiness of the flower. And then you are not looking at the flower. You look at my mind. So if my mind exists as truly real, so you see that this mind will also be totally baseless in the eyes of ultimate analysis. Okay. The analytical inquiry has no basis, and because of being without a basis, it does not arise as subject real. So this is called nirvana. Okay, let us say that what do you understand by nirvana in your own words? Nirvana. Anyone? Raise hands. Okay, Nicola. Okay. In your words, what you feel, right? Not what you studied. Actually, there should be no contradiction. There should be no gap between what you studied and what you feel. Just say what you feel. Okay, Tenzin Namdak. Mike, what do you feel? Serenity of the mind. Very good. Huh? Oh, say it again. You have relief. You never had relief. Perfect relief. Well, it's a perfect relief. Perfect relief. Anyone else? Quick. Okay, Bhavanila. Huh? Freedom from what is samsara? From Tushita.
No, not Tushita. Tushita isn't samsara.
Tushita is not samsara.
It is. It includes
So freedom from
samsara.
to samsara.
Yeah.
Like what? Tushita and like what?
No, we are stuck in this world. So we are stuck.
So you have to get out of
we
this
have-
world.
We have involuntary birth in the
Okay.
samsara. Yeah.
Involuntary birth and samsara. Okay, let's say involuntary birth. So in other words, involuntariness. Loss of freedom. Right? Be free from loss of I wish I have total freedom. Right? Okay, anyone else? Quick. Okay, Shoheli. Quick, Shoheli, quick. Same? Freedom from cessation of all kinds of suffering. Or the lady over there. Lady over there with the, yes, with the raising hand.
Absolute peace and safety, and the feeling of safety, feeling of being safe.
Absolute peace, it's absolute safety, security. Okay, the doctor there. And finally the last over there. Yes, first the doctor.
Для меня нирвана — это абсолютный тоже покой, счастье и расслабление.
For me, nirvana is absolute peace, sense of relaxation and happiness.
Perfect. The lead over there. Lead over there, over the last. Yes.
For me, it is same. I think the same. It is absolute happiness.
Very good. So now let's say, in terms of experience, total and the absolute freedom and absolute peace, what a relief. Now, my next question to you is when you feel that, yes, that's true. When you feel that, what do you think is going to be like the perception? Perception meaning what appears to you. Particularly, okay, Tenzin.
No more suffering.
No, that is the experience. Okay. For example, say, I'm so happy, right? I'm seeing the flower, I'm seeing all the people there, I'm so happy. Experience-wise, I'm happy. Perception-wise, I'm seeing the people. You're getting it? You're getting it? So there's slight difference there. What you said is the experience. Experience-wise is no suffering. Okay, the gentleman here, your name? Sergey, yes.
Geshe, I think the answer is nothing. It's like a space without objects. Just nothing.
Infinite nothing or empty of objective reality. Empty of objective reality and nothing, these two are different. Oh, there's nothing there. It's very sad. You know, I went to my kitchen and there's nothing there. Right? I'm hungry. I went to kitchen. There's nothing there. It's not good. Right? But objectively, there's nothing there. It gives you the peace. It frees your mind. There's nothing there. It makes you sad. You getting it? But sometimes nothing there. It gives you joy. The difficult person, you go into the room, it's not there. Wow. Right? So when I was age 5 in school, when I was climbing, we have a maths teacher, a lady maths teacher. She's extremely strict. She only knows how to pinch like this. Right? She only knows. The moment you shout, she comes to pinch you. Right? Every child is scared of the maths teacher. So one day, we entered into the maths classroom, and she was not there. Wow, it's empty. You know what I mean? Wow. Sometimes it's wow. When you go to the kitchen, it's empty. Very sad. You're getting it? Okay. So, whereas you go to the kitchen, oh, everything is empty of your reality. So much of joy. You go to this math teacher, pinch, she's empty of your reality. So much of peace. You're getting it? Emptiness of objective reality, you see this everywhere. You see this. There's so much of peace. Just nothingness, you don't get peace. Sometimes you get peace, little peace. Sometimes you get little freedom. Again, it will swap. The permanent peace will not come. Okay, so next. 111. For those two to truly exist, two here refers to the object and the subject. So for these two, object and subject to truly exist as a realist hold is hard to maintain. Realist meaning particularly Vaibhashika and Sautrantika. These two are referred to as the realist in the Buddhist kind of systems. As they posit the object and subject to be truly real, object real, you cannot maintain it. You cannot justify this. Because if an object is established as truly existent by the power of the cognition, then what is the basis of the reasoning for the existence of the cognition? Okay, let's say object and subject. This object exists. This object exists as truly. For example, like the Chittamatra, they say the mind exists truly, right? We said it. Chittamatra said the only mind, no external reality, only mind exists truly. How do you know? Who knows? What sees? What within you sees that your mind exists truly? So what they say? Self-cognizant mind. You getting it? Self-cognizant mind. And Prasangika rejects self-cognizant mind very effectively. Prasangika rejects self-cognizant mind. So self-cognizant mind is not there. So how do you know that the mind exists truly? And if you say the next mind exists, the mind, previous mind, the next mind sees the previous mind existing truly, then what knows the next mind which knows the previous mind is truly? You go like this, then it goes into infinite regress. So say the next mind seeing this will take you to infinite regress, and the self-cognizant mind is not there because it is rejected prasangika. So therefore you cannot justify how the mind exists truly. So therefore, the believing in the mind and the object of the mind to be existing truly is not tenable. 112. And if a cognition is established from the power of the object of cognition, okay, then they said that, okay, no. So, no, the self-cognizant mind you rejected, and the next mind, infinite regress. So what happens is that you cognize the object by dependence. No, you cognize the subject by dependence on the object, but you establish the object but depends on the subject, mutual dependence. Then this is not objective real. This is dependent real. There's a mutuality of dependency. There's no independent reality there. 112. And if you say the cognition, which is the subject or object, the mind, subject. If a cognition is established from the power of the object of cognition, what is object of cognition? Object, subject. Object. So if the subject is established by the power of the object, then what is the basis of reasoning for the true existence of the object of cognition? So how do you establish that the object exists truly? The existence is established by the power of the mutual dependence. These two, the existence is established by mutual dependence. Because of the object, the subject exists. Because of the subject, the object exists. For example, the father and the son. The father is because of the son, child, not son. Father because of the child. Child because of the parents, the father. So the mutuality of dependency. The existence is established by the power of mutual dependence, which entails that both would not truly exist. So, example, if a man without a child is not a father, then by whom is the child sired? Because in the absence of a child, there can be no father. Again, the two subject objects are not truly existent. 114. Suppose you ask, okay, now the opponents again say that, but we see that we can prove the existence of fire on the basis of from distance. You don't see the fire, but you see the smoke. So you infer the presence of the fire through the presence of the smoke. Smoke. So for them, that the smoke is object real, the fire is object real. Although you don't see the fire there, but you can infer You don't see the fire. Because of this, you don't see the objective fire. But through the objective smoke, you can infer the presence of the objective fire. This is what the non-prasangikas would say. You getting it? Okay. Is this little, I would say little tense or little, the condensed, little complicated. But I would say this is something which, if we listen to, and even if after the class, even if you feel that nothing is left there, don't worry. It is like implanting the seeds. Implant seeds. Believe it or not, next time you attend any of these classes, it'll be easier. And particularly if you go for systematic studies, it'll become very easy for you. You're getting it? So these benefits are of course there. Why retreat? Why not this? I'm joking. Okay. So which verse? Okay. So from the presence of the smoke, you can infer the presence of the fire. From the presence of the effect, you can, at the sprout, you can infer the presence of the seed. Right? So this is what this is. Likewise, from the presence of the object, you can infer the presence of the subject. From the presence of the subject, you can infer the presence of the object. So what's the problem? So the presence of the objective, the subject, objective existence subject, you can infer the objective existence object. From the presence of the objective existence object, you can infer the presence of the objective existence subject. This is what the non-prasangikas would argue against prasangika. 114. Suppose you ask, a sprout grows from a seed, and just as the true existence of the seed is indicated by the sprout, by the arising of a cognition, which is subject, from the object of cognition, why cannot its true existence also be inferred? Why not? 115. Well, if the seed is realized by cognition different from this sprout, by what reasoning is the true existence of the cognition, which is inferred through its apprehension of an object, established? What? It should be either cognized by inferred by the self-cognizant mind, or next moment of the mind. Self-cognizant mind is rejected by prasangika. Next moment of the mind leads to infinite regress. So therefore, you cannot establish the true existence of the mind. Okay. Okay. Next. The logic that establishes emptiness. A. Reasoning from the viewpoint of cause. 1. Rejecting causeless production. So this is a little easier, meaning that the Charvakas, they say that no, things don't require cause. You always talk about cause, effect, karma. What karma? There's no cause. Look at say for example, say this ball. The single ball, how is it round or not round? Which is more? This round, is it naturally from somewhere, or somebody made it? Somebody made it, right? Somebody made it, which means there's a cause. From this, you can see that somebody made it. There's a cause there. But look at the roundness of the beans. Who made it round? Nobody made it. You're getting it? So in fact, the roundness of the bean is more perfect than this roundness, right? Causeless production. Bean, nobody made it round. Nobody fixed it round. Every bean, nobody does it. It's causeless. And the Mona Lisa, who painted it? Leonardo da Vinci, right? She did it. Just looking at the Mona Lisa painting, you say somebody did this. There's a cause there. But who did the painting of the feathers? The peacock feathers, which is so beautiful. Who painted these? Nobody painted this, right? And you see the needles, they're very fine. Just seeing the needles, you see that somebody made it, cause. But look at the thorns, they're so pointed. Sometimes they're more pointed than the needles. And who made this? Nobody made it. It's not that everything should have a cause, not necessary, right? This is Charvaka's view. Good? Not good. Why not? Who made the beans round? Who made the beans round? This one, somebody made it round. Who made this round? Nobody made it round. Uh-huh. Huh? Seeds of bean cannot make it like talk, 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 talk and round. No, it cannot do it. How did it happen? Right, no cause. Right, this is amazing. Okay. Seems that surely is a staunch philosopher of the law of karma. Okay, rejecting cause of production. 116. By direct pressure. Okay. So these are the arguments by the opponents. They are put in the arguments of opponents are put in the form, but they're implicit. They're not explicitly said. Now the answers given explicit answers. By direct perception of the conventional world, all causes are seen. Same where all the functional things, they have their previous causes. Without cause, nothing can come about causelessly. After all, the diverse parts of anything like a lotus stalks and so forth grow by means of diverse causes. So, say the things which are diverse, different functional things, which means that why they're different things? Because of the different causes. Okay, some are pointed, some are round, because of different causes. They're not the same cause, right? For example, say the causes of the beans, they will never make the beans the pointed. And the causes of the pick of feathers, they will never make the pick of feather like the pointed. So they have the different causes, different results ensue. 117. Suppose you ask, what has produced those diverse causes? Now, Charvakas, if you ask me, if you ask you, Charvakas asks you, what has produced those diverse causes? So these different things are caused by diverse causes. What causes those diverse causes? Anyone? Huh? David? No, Victor. Okay, then they are caused by their own different causes. And these causes of the causes, they're also caused by their own different causes. So is this infinite regress? Infinite regress has a connotation that it is wrong, but you have to accept it. Which means that you don't have the answer. This is the wrong answer. Infinite regress means that your conclusion is wrong. I said the space. You go out of the planet Earth. Right? When will the space start? When? Huh? Never. So it is infinite. Infinite doesn't mean is infinite regress. Infinite regress is a connotation that it is not infinite, but you have to conclude that it is infinite, which is infinite regress. Where it is actually infinite, is not infinite regress. Yes. Mike.
My error came from the conventional truth perspective. It is absolutely correct that diverse causes will cause diverse causes. The infinite regress is a logical error, so that's not the correct here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next. 117. Suppose you ask, what has produced those diverse causes? So, as Victor said, well, a diversity of previous causes. And suppose you ask further, why does a cause have the ability to give rise to an effect? Well, due to the power of the previous causes. Why? For example, say that 2023 has the ability to give rise to 2024, because it is designed in such a way by 2022 that it has the ability to make 2024 by the previous causes. Okay. Rejecting production from permanent causes. 118. If, as the Nyaya Vaisheshik assert, the powerful Lord, okay, now the Nyaya Vaisheshik, and within the Indian traditions, classical Indian philosophical traditions, there are different views. The I personally really appreciate that for the reason that these are all original thoughts being produced from the native places. So the Vaisheshik and Nyaya, these two are very close in their philosophical position. They talk about Ishvar. So now the majority of what we call as the Hindus, they will say Ishvar means like a god. But the real concept of Ishvar is very different amongst the different Hindu traditions. Today we call it Hindu traditions, classical Indian traditions. They're very different from each other. So what they're saying, okay, look, these debates. If as the Nyaya Vaisheshik assert the powerful Lord Ishvar was the cause of the world, tell me what is Ishvar in fact? What is Ishvar itself? If you say the elements, this is very, I would say, very realistic. So there's the saying, like the physicists today would say that the world is made of the basic elements, physical basic elements, electrons, protons, neutrons. So likewise, in the ancient times, it's not that everybody is like a, Buddha, God. No, they are very realist. They are like today's physicists, particle physicists. They will say that things are made of elements. Some say that time is the creator, God. Creator. They don't call it God. Some say time is the creator. Some say no, particles are the creator. Particles, they create the universe. It's amazing. It's today's physics. Today's physics is the same. The physical law. Today's physics, majority of the physicists think that the physical law should govern the whole universe. Physical law governs the whole universe. This is exactly what many of the ancient Indian philosophers say. So it says that, what is Ishvara? It's elements. Earth, water, fire, air. These are the elements. These are referred to as the Ishvara. This is the very practical answer. Then it says that what is it? If you say 118, fourth line, if you say the elements are referred to as the Ishvara, then so be it. But why all the fuss over the mere name? You say the Ishvara as something very holy, yeah, right? But the elements of our body means also element. Our body is not holy, right? There's nothing holy about our body. You agree? There's nothing holy about body, right? Okay, I don't want to go too much into this. Okay, so let's see. So say even the earth is also made of, ground is also made of earth, element earth, water, fire, and so forth. And we tread on the ground. Do we tread on Ishvara? In all these debates were being held in those days. So it says, 119. However, earth and the rest, element of earth and the rest have multiple parts. And they are also impermanent. And they are inanimate. And they are not divine. And we also trod. We also walked on this earth, these elements. And they are unclean. So these cannot be the powerful Lord Ishvara. What he said is that the Ishvara is these elements. So these are the thoughts. These are thoughts where you think very seriously, then these thoughts will help us to fine-tune our thinking, our intelligence. 120. Ishvara cannot be space, because space is a non-impelling force, which does not have the force to move you. Space will not move you. So where should it be? Ishvara is supposed to be something which can decide things, which can make things move. He cannot be the self, and then if there is a self, he cannot self, since that has been refuted before. And even if you say he is a creator which is inconceivable, or is inconceivable, nobody can think about this, right? You cannot think of what the creator's Ishvara is like. You cannot think of that. If you cannot think of that, why are you talking about it? You talk about it means you have to think and talk. Then what are you talking about? You cannot think about it. It's inconceivable. Okay, so I would say that if the Nyaya and Vaisheshika ask the Buddhist, particularly Prasangika, you talk about the ultimate reality as inexpressible. Why are you expressing it? You're getting it? All these we have to think very seriously. And if you can think very seriously, and if you see the differences, your intelligence can really grow and penetrate the nuances. You can penetrate nuances. For example, say the practitioners say how one can see if the other person who is learned is a practitioner or not. Very easy. First, you have to practice yourself. If you don't practice, you have no means by which you to check if the other person is a practitioner or not. If you practice so well, then say, instead of going to complicated debates, just ask some very simple questions. The person is not practicing, the person gets stuck in many areas, will give some answers which is totally nonsense. For example, at the time of Buddha, there were two men, one very young, one maybe like age 10, and the other one was already age 30s. And after 10 years, the two of them met again. Both of them became monks together. Two of them met again. So, after 10 years, the younger one was 20 years old, and the elder one was 40 years old. And the younger one became extremely popular because of his intelligence. And he has so many students. And the elder one did not have any student. He is a slow learner. It was at the time of the Buddha. Then in public, in front of the younger one's students, Buddha asked some questions to the younger one. The younger one could not give the answers. Then Buddha asked the same question to the elder one, senior one. Senior meaning the older one. Older one who was looked down upon by all the students of the younger one. And the Buddha asked a question, and the older one gave all the answers nicely. And the Buddha praised the older one. And the Buddha little deprecated, or little say, I did not really talk too nice about the younger one. And the students of the younger one, they were just baffled. So, what happened? Our teacher's the learned one, and the older one, he doesn't know anything. And they actually directly told the Buddha, reported to the Buddha, why the Buddha did not praise our teacher, and why the Buddha praised the elder one. Our teacher's learned, and the other one does not know anything. And the Buddha said, I did not check how much they have learned. I checked how much they have practiced. And the elder one practiced a lot, and the young one did not practice as much. Has a lot of information, but he could not translate this into the practice. You're getting it? You can easily figure that out. Okay. But the knowledge is so precious. Knowledge is so precious, one may not be translating this into your experience, meditation, but that is so precious, more precious than somebody not doing anything, not studying at all. Reason why? Later on one day, both of them, those who study, those who do not study, both of them will confront with difficulties. When they confront with the difficulties, then, I have to practice Dharma. And the one who studied, the materials are ready. Everything is in his knowledge. Wisdom drawn through learning is already there. Now wisdom drawn through reflection needs a little bit of fine-tuning, and then move to the wisdom drawn through meditation directly. Whereas the other one has to again go through extensive study. So therefore, study is so precious. And the best would be study, parallel to that, keep practicing. And then as to the best we can, say the little things which we can easily do. For example, staying away from indulgence. Staying away from indulgence. To the best you can, be kind with other people. Don't talk nastily. Don't talk harshly towards other people. Be gentle. In whatever little way you can help others. And try to just say, you see different people who some are extremely calm. And even with difficult situations, the person handles so nicely calm and not affected. Wow. How is this person able to do that? you should have the faculty to learn from these people. Right? Oh, this, yeah, he's always come like this. You don't learn anything. This is unfortunate on your part. How this person is maintaining calmness. You have to learn from this. You must look for these. You must acquire the skill to learn from other people. Not like, please teach me. No, just observe. And how one person, for example, says sometimes, I usually tell Venerable Srila, jokingly say they're very stubborn, she never feels offended. But some people can easily feel offended, right? Why? He's saying that, I'm stubborn. He's stubborn actually. He's stubborn, right? Wow, he's so nice. He's not nice. He's not nice. He thinks that he is, he's not stubborn. He's very stubborn, right? Okay, so we have to learn from other people. This is very important. We have to learn. This is very important. In fact, it's already 11. Once in my office, there was a lady principal of a college came to my office. With appointment, we met. And usually when somebody comes to my office, I just easily check where the person is coming from, through whom. I check it very quickly, because then I can see the background of the person very well. Then to communicate is very easy. Somehow sitting with this lady for about say 10 minutes, still I could not figure out how this person come to know about Tibet House. So I became so desperate, I directly asked, how do you know about Tibet House? And then she shared a story. That's amazing. We have to learn these skills from this lady principal. I'm not surprised that she's principal. She's amazing. This is her skill, to learn from others how to maintain calmness, how to be gentle, how to be kind, how to be skillful, how not to talk too much, how not to offend others through your words, and how not to be exploitative, how not to be opportunist, be very decent, kind, to the best, be kind. If not, at least I'll not harm others, I'll not be cunning, So like this, learn from other people. So what she said is that the in the place where she lives, there's the colony, a small colony there, and she said that there's one lady who I've been seeing for the last 7 years. In these 7 years, I never saw this lady. I always see her passing by like this. But all these 7 years, I never saw this lady agitated, irritated, or sad. There's tremendous calmness, composure, and gentleness. Every time I see her, it's amazing. I'm a school principal. I'm the college principal. But I'm so agitated in so many situations. But looking at this lady, I never saw her all these 7 years. How come that she's able to maintain this calmness and gentleness and the composure? I must check it. So look, this is the skill. We have to learn this skill. You have to learn this skill. I have to learn this skill. You have to learn this skill. We all have to learn this skill from others. Say good things others have, from that to learn. And then one day, she saw the lady passing by. She just instantly went down and met the lady. And then told her, the last 7 years I saw you moving here and there. I never saw you agitated, irritated. I'm just amazed by this. Please tell me, what are you doing to keep yourself calm and composed? She said, no, I don't do anything. I just go to Tibet House. And then the lady principal, she started Google search Tibet House. Then she saw the Google map, Tibet House, and she just checked the number and contacted, right? So what I'm saying is these are the skills that we learn from others. Someone who's gentle, learn from them. and someone who's skilled, learn from them. We should learn from other people. This is so important. Okay.